In Zimbabwe, baboons have grown into a major threat for both city neighborhoods and farming communities. From the fertile fields of Matabeleland south to the edges of Bulawayo, these clever but destructive animals raid crops, attack livestock, and even break into homes. Experts warn that by 2025, the financial toll could climb to nearly $450,000 in damages. The effects are already being felt. In Masvingo, a local radio station lost $15,000 after baboons gnawed through critical cables. Across Wang, farmers are reporting thousands of dollars in losses as maize fields are stripped bare and poultry is carried off. During droughts, when resources are scarce, the conflict only intensifies. Farmers and hunters are left with few choices, but to fight back in order to protect their livelihoods. The big question remains, how do you outsmart such intelligent animals? This video takes a closer look at Zimbabwe's struggle and the strategies being used to keep baboon populations under control. If you enjoy content like this and want to see more wildlife stories from around the world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our next video. Hunting has become one of the main strategies to limit the damage, with rifles being the weapon of choice. But taking down baboons is anything but easy. They stick to familiar routes, often along the Save River or near farms in Bitebridge, making them unpredictable and tough to corner.
Oh my God!
To stand a chance, hunters have to read the land like a map. The smartest spots are natural choke points where baboons pause to eat or rest, thick bush in the Jalili region, or the rocky outcrops near mana pools. These locations offer the perfect blend of cover and a clear line of sight. By understanding their daily patterns, hunters can anticipate the right moment to act and maximize their chances of success. The weapon of choice makes all the difference in a hunt. In Zimbabwe, popular calibers like the .223 Remington, .243 Winchester, and 6.5mm Creedmoor strike the right balance between accuracy, stopping power, and manageable recoil. Semi-automatic rifles are especially useful when baboons scatter in all directions, giving hunters the speed needed for follow-up shots. In contrast, bolt-action rifles shine in wide-open landscapes such as Lake Kariba, where precision at long range is the top priority. Success also comes down to discipline and preparation. Scopes must be dialed in with precision, and steady trigger control is a must. Hunters in regions like Karedzi often rely on bipods or flat rock surfaces to stabilize their rifles for that split-second opportunity. Since targets usually present themselves for only a few moments, shots from the side or rear angle are the most effective. And once the first round is fired, the job isn't over. Baboons may regroup or stall just long enough to give the hunter another chance to finish the mission. Even after landing a solid hit, the danger is far from over. Closing in on a wounded baboon is one of the riskiest moments of the hunt. These animals can turn violent in an instant, and one careless move could mean a sudden, brutal counterattack. That's why preparation isn't optional. It's the only way hunters avoid becoming victims in their own arena. Confirming the kill and checking shot placement isn't just about measuring accuracy. It's a crucial safety step that shapes future hunts. In Zimbabwe, baboons aren't simple targets, they're cunning opponents. Success depends on strategy, from choosing the right shooting angle to maintaining the right stance, each decision helping to prevent disaster. Skipping those details can carry a steep price. In Zimbabwe, the price of a baboon hunt usually runs between $80 and $200, depending on the region. While this approach is common in places like Wang, Masvingo, and Gakwi, it's only a short-term fix. The real conflict runs deeper. Drought has stripped away natural food sources, and farmland expansion in the Midlands has steadily eaten into baboon habitats. To tackle the issue more sustainably, some communities are trying new approaches. In Masvingo, farmers are setting up electric fences to protect their crops. Others are looking at relocating baboons to reserves such as Gonarizu or restoring natural food and water sources. But these solutions come at a steep cost, requiring time, money, and long-term commitment. At its core, the struggle with baboons is about more than just keeping one species in check. It highlights the larger clash between people and the natural world. Baboons aren't just pests. They play a vital role in the ecosystem by spreading seeds and keeping insect populations in balance. But as their habitats disappear, conflict with humans is almost inevitable. Hunting may reduce the immediate damage, yet lasting solutions depend on conservation and smarter land management. The real question is this: how can Zimbabwe protect its farmers and communities while still allowing baboons to survive in the wild? It's a challenge that reaches far beyond hunters and landowners, touching the whole of society. The only path forward is a balanced approach, one that combines population control with ecosystem protection to safeguard both human livelihoods and the future of wildlife. In the end, hunting is only one part of the picture. True wildlife management means balancing protection of farmland with respect for nature's role in the ecosystem. Every shot taken should come with discipline, responsibility, and a clear purpose, not just for the moment, but for the future of both people and wildlife. Zimbabwe's struggle with baboons is a lesson for all of us. Coexistence is never easy, but with the right mix of conservation, planning, and ethical hunting is possible. If you found this story eye-opening, stick with us for more powerful wildlife adventures around the world. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next hunt, the next challenge, and the next chapter in this ongoing battle between man and nature. Hey folks, welcome to Northwoods Pursuit, where we track the unexpected wild stories unfolding in today's America. Believe it or not, one of the most surprising threats creeping into our cities isn't a coyote or a black bear, it's baboons. That's right. In 2024, the USDA reported over 1,000 incidents of these clever primates breaking into homes in search of food. What used to be an odd sighting is now a growing crisis. Are our traditional wildlife control methods enough? Or are we overdue for something smarter, tougher, and more adaptive? Today, we're diving into the heart of the issue, exploring how communities are standing up, fighting back, and finding new ways to reclaim their peace of mind. Stick around and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your take and might even feature it in our next episode. Things are getting wild, literally. What started a few years ago with just a dozen or so curious baboon break-ins has exploded into over 1,500 cases reported in 2024. And these aren't your average backyard critters. Baboons are smart, strong, and fearless, and they're tearing up suburban neighborhoods. Homes have been ransacked, cars destroyed, and the total damage? An unbelievable $175 billion annually. But it's not just the mess they leave behind. Their droppings carry bacteria that can spread disease to humans, turning this into a public health concern. In Broward County alone, more than 500 baboons are believed to be roaming free. With traps and fences failing, some communities are going to extreme lengths, yes, even arming themselves, just to protect their homes and families. In response to the escalating baboon crisis, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, has tightened the reins with strict new regulations. Anyone hoping to hunt these invasive primates must now obtain a statewide license and stick to a designated hunting season running from January through March. But this is an open season. It's a carefully controlled operation. Each hunter is required to report any baboon taken within 7 days. No excuses. Miss that window, and you could face serious consequences, including a 5-year suspension from all hunting activities in Florida. On top of that, participants are now required to complete a certified firearms safety course, ensuring every hunter knows how to handle their weapon with care, accuracy, and accountability before heading into the field. As the baboon population surged, Florida's hunters had to adapt fast, bringing smarter strategies and more advanced gear into play. Success hinges on precision, which means maintaining a safe yet effective range, typically between 100 and 150 feet, to minimize risk while ensuring clean, accurate shots. At the forefront of this effort is the Impact M3 air rifle, a cutting-edge tool praised for its speed, pinpoint accuracy, and reliability in close to mid-range scenarios. This powerful air rifle has proven to be a turning point in the fight, helping drive the baboon population down from over 5,000 to just around 1,000. But the benefits go beyond population control. These efforts are restoring balance to local ecosystems, shielding farmland from destruction, and protecting Florida's vital agricultural backbone. Controlling invasive species like baboons today isn't just about pulling the trigger. It's about thinking smarter, moving quieter, and working as a unit. Modern hunters are stepping up their game with high-tech camouflage that blends seamlessly into Florida's wild landscape, making it nearly impossible for these sharp-eyed primates to detect them. Bait traps, especially fruit-based lures, are strategically placed to draw baboons into more visible, controlled spaces where shots can be taken safely and cleanly. But the real game changer: teamwork. Hunters now operate in coordinated squads of 3 or more, using radios and hand signals to communicate, cover more ground, and keep everyone safe. It's no longer a solo pursuit. It's a carefully choreographed mission that's delivering real results. Technology is playing a critical role in turning the tide against Florida's baboon surge. Today's hunters rely on precision optics, scopes with adjustable zoom, tilt, and even thermal features to lock onto targets in dense brush or under unpredictable weather. But it's not just about the gear, it's about how it's used. Strict regulations are in place to ban nighttime hunting, helping protect other species and reduce the risk to nearby communities. This isn't about wiping baboons off the map. It's about restoring balance. Once the population is under control, the goal is to scale back hunting operations and let the ecosystem recover naturally. At the same time, wildlife officials are taking steps to make sure baboons don't fall victim to other invasive predators, keeping Florida's fragile environment in check for the long haul. Managing invasive species isn't just a numbers game. It opens up a bigger conversation about ethics, responsibility, and where we draw the line when it comes to controlling wildlife. Are we doing enough? Are we going too far? That's where your voice matters. We'd love to hear what you think about the moral side of these efforts. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're into real, unfiltered stories from the front lines of wildlife management, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Just a quick note, everything shown in this video follows local laws and ethical hunting standards. Our goal is to inform, not sensationalize, because awareness is the first step toward real solutions. Hey everyone, glad you're here. Picture daybreak in South Africa's Eastern Cape. The cornfields of Tabo lie under a fog so heavy it mutes every sound. Then, boom, the silence rips open. Vervet monkeys, quick as pickpockets, streak from the tree lean, snatch whatever produce they can carry, and melt back into the mist. It doesn't feel like a rough morning. It feels like the first volley of a full-on war. Across the continent, highly intelligent troops of baboons and monkeys stage the same raids on farms and villages, draining millions of dollars from growers every single year. Meet Jack Reynolds, a former elk guide from the wide-open ranges of Montana, who now craves a new kind of test, stalking South Africa's most elusive crop raiders, baboons and vervet monkeys. These primates aren't passive targets. They operate like guerrilla squads, mapping escape routes and posting lookouts. An outfitter near Addo lists a permit at roughly $20 per animal, but don't let the bargain price fool you. Outsmarting a creature that can solve puzzles and work in teams is anything but cheap in skill or patience. Meet Jack Reynolds, a former elk guide from the wide-open ranges of Montana, who now craves a new kind of test, stalking South Africa's most elusive crop raiders, baboons and vervet monkeys. These primates aren't passive targets. They operate like guerrilla squads, mapping escape routes and posting lookouts. An outfitter near Addo lists a permit at roughly $20 per animal, but don't let the bargain price fool you. Outsmarting a creature that can solve puzzles and work in teams is anything but cheap in skill or patience. Wildlife experts will tell you straight up, pulling a trigger won't fix everything. A growing number push for relocation instead, a painstaking, boots-on-the-ground solution. At the Addo Wildlife Conservancy, crews team up with growers like Tabo to live trap baboons and vervets, haul them dozens of miles away, and cross their fingers the animals don't boomerang back. It's humane, sure, but it burns through time, diesel, and payroll, and Tabo isn't convinced the payoff justifies the price tag. So put yourself in his work boots. What would you choose? The arguments get heated fast. Groups like Baboon Matters say culling hammers already pressure populations and unbalances fragile ecosystems. On top of that, South Africa's National Environmental Management Act slaps tight rules on lethal control. One wrong move and a farmer faces stiff fines. Trying to protect harvests worth millions while keeping conservation ethics intact is a tightrope act with no easy answers. The situation spiraled in a hurry. More than 1,500 baboons spilled onto the town's empty streets one morning, calls bouncing off the storefronts like sirens. Drawn to overflowing dumpsters, the troops transformed playgrounds into scavenger pits and clogged streams with trash, knocking local environmental scores down about 30%. By the time the dust settled, busted roofs, shattered windows, and ruined gardens had racked up more than $3.2 million in damage, and residents suddenly felt they were living in a real-life reboot of Planet of the Apes. City officials responded by overhauling the rules on lethal control. Now anyone who wants to hunt these primates must complete roughly 6 months of coursework and field drills. Everything from primate behavior and long-range marksmanship to rapid decision-making under pressure. Because baboons can spot danger a football field away, shooters bait the area with fruit, stay at least 100 yards back, and keep rifles shouldered low enough to remain invisible against the grass line. Only after passing a final, live-fire test does a hunter earn certification to take the shot. While sharpshooting grabs the headlines, a wave of smarter, non-lethal tactics is hitting the field. Picture this: life-size lion cutouts now guard trouble spots in cities like Austin and Houston, where baboon incursions get wild. Turns out monkeys still respect the top predator on the savannah. One glimpse of that cardboard king, and they back off. Wildlife researchers say Austin's litter and runoff levels fell roughly 25% once the baboons cleared out. To reinforce the line, crews set heavy-gauge steel traps nearby. Break the rules and you're staring down fines of up to $5 grand. Only licensed marksmen 21 and over can even touch the gear. South Africa has taken the concept a step further with a catch, snip, and release program. Every baboon netted in a trap heads straight to a wildlife center, gets a quick exam and sterilization from a vet, then hops a truck for release at least 50 miles from your nearest backyard. In 1 year, that approach trimmed the rogue population from about 10,000 animals to 6,500. A solid win for farmers and a humane playbook for everyone else. While South African towns square off against marauding monkeys, French farmers are fighting an entirely different invader, wild boars. Picture hulking hogs tipping the scales at 700 pounds, rooting up acres of corn and wheat in a single night, and leaving an annual repair bill north of $50 million. Over the past 3 decades, France's boar head count has rocketed from roughly 35,000 to well over 3 million, fueled by easy meals and farm fields, overflowing trash bins, and a total lack of natural predators. Paris finally hit the panic button in 2025, rolling out the biggest wildlife response the country has ever seen. Thousands of licensed shooters, flanked by some 120,000 tracking dogs, have been dispatched to the countryside. Hunters dropped about 900,000 animals in 2024 and aim to push that tally to 1.2 million this season. Every participant must first log a 40-hour course that drills home firearms safety, boar behavior, hunting ethics, and the fine print of regional laws before they're cleared to pull a trigger. Let's talk hardware. Serious boar hunters tote big bore rifles. Think .308 Winchester or larger, which pack enough punch to drop a 700-pound log in one well-placed shot. They blend into the tree line in head-to-toe camo and armor up with Kevlar vests that can shrug off a slash from razor-sharp tusks. After dark, the real magic happens. Thermal scopes and night vision optics pick out heat signatures long before the human eye can, and drone crews sweep the fields from above, spotting targets more than a quarter-mile away and mapping the entire hunt zone in minutes. The dog packs of yesteryear are mostly retired. A cornered boar can flip from skittish to lethal in a heartbeat. New rules call for hunters to stay at least 150 yards back and rely on precision shooting, not close-quarters chases. Even with those precautions, the job is no cakewalk. About 20 hunters have been gored or knocked off their feet in the last few seasons, a bruising reminder of what a 300-pound freight train on four legs can do when it decides to charge. Whether you're talking about South Africa's rooftop-raiding baboons or France's field-shredding boars, the uphill climb is the same. Wildlife that learns faster than we legislate. Beating back the damage takes an ever-shifting toolkit. Precision calls when numbers explode, relocation or sterilization when ethics demand it, and tech-driven deterrents that stay one step ahead of the animal's next move. Threading that needle isn't just about protecting crops or city streets. It's about keeping the ecological engine running. The best plans safeguard rural livelihoods today, while making sure tomorrow's landscape still has room for every species involved, us included. So here's the takeaway: hunting, when done right, isn't about domination. It's about discipline, stewardship, and balance. Whether you're tracking baboons in the South African savanna or stalking wild boars in the forests of France, the goal isn't to wipe out, it's to restore. True hunters study the land, respect the species, and know that every trigger pull carries a consequence. As we face smarter wildlife and shrinking habitats, our tactics must evolve, blending ancient skills with modern ethics. If this kind of razor's edge conservation intrigues you, don't miss what's next. We've got more wild, real-world stories ahead, so hit that follow and join us for the next chapter in the fight to coexist. This video is for educational and awareness purposes. All scenes follow local laws and ethical hunting guidelines.